with me. And it's Wednesday. What's going on? It just now started. Oh, happy Onewheel Wednesday just now started. Technical difficulty. I did so good on the intro. I was on it. I was ready to go. Holly Mendenhall here. It is not Scot Mendenhall introing, but I'm never going to be on here by myself. So I do have the one and only Lily Arnold.
Happy Wednesday. That was not our fault. It was the tech's fault, which I'm only saying that because we were ready. We were ready.
We were on it.
We're alone today. It's just her and I.
Scott is not here today. His seat is empty.
Yeah, as you can see.
It's
check it out. Seat's
empty.
Where is he?
He is in Chicago, Illinois. He is running around there. He had
you see his Instagram. People probably already knew he wasn't going to be there today because on Instagram he put riding through Chicago and at night with the street.
It was amazing.
It was really pretty.
It really made me want to be there. I love Chicago. I've always loved Chicago. We used to live outside Chicago and it's a great place. So they were riding so close to the river. I don't think I am not a good enough rider to ride near water.
Yeah, they were really close to it. It was awesome.
It did look pretty awesome.
And didn't you say they just raced their Onewheels?
They did.
Tell the story of that.
Okay, so I'm on the phone. He's there for a couple of different things, and I'm talking to him, and then all of a sudden he stops talking to me, and I hear him talking to other people, and I hear him say, "Well, you guys were great on Survivor. It's great to meet you. We loved your season," and I'm like, who is he talking to? Well, he ran into a couple people from the Survivor show that were going to the Cubs game. And then I overhear him say, well, we're getting ready to race down to Nike Town. They're racing the subway against the Onewheels to Nike Town, down from the hotel that they're staying at.
That's so fun. So yeah. Someone they're with was on the subway, correct?
Someone they're with is on the subway. Legend, Epic, and Scott are all on their Onewheels. And they were going to see who could do it faster.
And are we saying?
Who do you think? Tell me in the chat. Who do you think won? The Subway or the Onewheels? Onewheels.
Yep.
They totally crushed him.
There's so many stops. But you also have to stop at every single, or when there's a block that is going the other way. Or whatever, you know what I'm trying to say.
You're making every stop that the Subway does. So that's pretty awesome. So he is there. He'll be back with us again another time. But we have an awesome show. Tell us what's coming up.
So we are going to have Jeff Adair and Racheal Cecil on. They both won at Oak City this past weekend. Oh. So if you were at Oak City, put in the chat right now. Give us your highlights. Tell us about it. We obviously weren't there. That was in North Carolina, right? Right?
Yes.
I haven't been able to go, but I'm wearing my lemonade shirt.
Representing the Dirt Surfers representing down in Austin.
We're going to be at Dirt Surfers next weekend, which is super exciting. I mean, it's not this weekend, but next weekend. Already another race. So
yeah, it's race season. We're like right in the heart of it and ready to like go in one race after another. So we better get started. We have an awesome.
Do you want to intro Jeff because Scott's not here?
I was trying to process this and I'm like, without further ado instead of
I like it.
Let's go with Jeff Adair.
Let's do it together. Let's do it without further ado.
Okay.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
Without further ado, here's Jeff. Jeff, are you with us?
Without further ado.
That was my favorite intro, ladies. Thank y'all so much for really bringing
it was simple, short and simple and sweet. Like
I was trying to think of all the words. Jeff Adair, look in the mirror.
That's too, actually. Short, simple, sweet. So,
I was going to say you, but I just figured let's play it safe today.
Jeff, it's good to have you. I'm fixing my microphone or my headphones here. It's great to have you. How are you doing today?
Excellent. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me on your show today. It's amazing.
Jeff, when Jeff found out that Scott wasn't going to be here, he was like, I'll host Wild Card Wednesday. Right, Jeff?
Yeah, I thought it'd be fun. I went ahead and just broke out in like an audition, basically. And,
you did.
Needless to say, they didn't grant me the host job, but at least I'm still here because some of the stuff I was saying was a little sus. It was kind of crazy.
Tiny bit.
I kind of went off on a tangent, you know.
That's not Wild Card Wednesday.
Energy,
that's Jeff every day.
I was trying to harness Scott's energy.
Yeah.
He's got good energy.
He has good energy. Sure. It's hard to mirror. But okay, Jeff, tell us about how the weekend was at Oak City Shredfest. Can we start at the beginning? How are you feeling going into the race? How was the travels in from where you live in Texas? And then tell us about the weekend.
Sure. It was just a short road trip, 17 hours from Texas to North Carolina, Raleigh.
Short, sweet, and simple.
Oak City. Very nice event you guys threw together. what was it like? Well, went out there, I think on Wednesday, got there like Wednesday 6 p.m. Had a nice day of practice on Thursday, and then Friday things started getting going with like qualifiers and people showing.
Oh no.
Oh no, we
tight.
lost him.
I'm back right now. I'm
here
back,
he is.
right?
Okay, good. People are trying to call you, Jeff.
Yeah,
like
they're wanting.
they don't realize
wanting-
you're busy.
Les Carroll, literally, like first it was Nick a minute ago. Now Les Carroll. Nick,
What do these guys
Les
mean?
It is
Carroll.
the Scot
We can
Mendenhall and
talk after
Friends
this.
show.
I got 30 minutes, baby, to get the foothold situation going on.
Just text
Let's
Les.
talk later.
Text Les and Nick the link to the podcast because then it'll just be like a passive aggressive way of being like, I cannot answer you right now.
And it's like, dude, do you not watch my story? Follow me on IG and everywhere at Jeff Adair Shreds for when I'm going to be on the Scott show next. But anyway,
And I would say, dude, are you not here watching the Scot Mendenhall and Friends show every Wednesday? That's what I would say.
He's still, don't take offense, guys. He's still a friend. But anyway, so yeah, Saturday came and we did some one-wheel racing. I think I ended up getting first on ORL Pro. So, yeah, I think I got first on it. So it's pretty cool.
Jeff, is that hard for you to brag about? Is it hard for you to, I mean, you got first. So are you like trying to be a little bit humble or like, are you just being funny? Which is it?
Well, I'm a good sportsmanship person, so I'm just showing that off so other people can soak that drip up, you know what I mean, and apply it to themselves when they get gold, because that's really what we're trying to do here is inspire others.
Yeah, it's true. So tell us about the race. So you did get first. Congratulations. If I had like a crowd like, oh, woo, cheer, I'd play that, but I don't have that. So good job, Jeff.
Way to go.
The applause track. I said laugh track, but
so it's cool. It's not an enduro race, correct? So it's all start. You spoke earlier about wanting to get the whole shot, so that tells me you're racing with people. What was the terrain like? What was all of it? Was it head to head with one other person?
Sorry, guys. Let me break it down. I'm gonna break it down. You want the breakdown? Cool.
Yeah, I want the breakdown.
So people get out there Thursday and Friday to lay down some freaking qualifying segments, okay? You got this one segment that you can hit 3 times, and they're going to take your best, lowest time. That thing was chunky, all right? It was full of holes. Just a lot of little things that can mess you up. And then the top 12 moved on to head-to-head. And then in the head-to-head was around the float track, which they made longer and better. It had some cool new rock feature and some more cool new jumps. But that thing was chunky as well. So when you're racing head-to-head, on the drone cam and on the other cams, it might look smooth, but that thing wasn't smooth at all. It was chunky like beef stew. Okay.
Ugh. Okay. Wait, like chunkier than Austin? Because
it's a different kind of chunk. All right, all North Carolina is the same, dude.
Oh.
North Carolina looks freaking smooth as hell on pictures. All right, I'll give you that, North Carolina. Y'all know how to make some pictures look smooth as hell.
Instagram versus reality kind of thing right there.
And then you get there, and it's like this hard, compact clay stuff that's like just, it's just misshaped. It's got a lot of holes in it.
Dang, you're not selling it for me.
Nonetheless, it's gnarly. It's a challenge. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's North Carolina for you. Yes.
Okay.
And so we raced head to head. Go ahead.
Well, when you hear a lot of people, like when the commentators were talking about the races, how dusty it is. So as the viewer, it is a little bit hard to see how chunky it is, but you could see that it was dust. Were you just covered, when after racing? Maybe not, because maybe you were in first the whole time?
Well, I got a little dusty here and there, Holly. It's okay to say. If you ain't falling here and there, you ain't really pushing yourself to the limit, all right? So, yeah, I fell down a couple times and, wrestled with the dirt, but I got back up and got out first.
Yeah, you did.
Let's go.
That's awesome.
Let's get it.
Okay, so was it like you race head to head, then you win, and then you race again, and then you win, keep going? I know there's a name for that, but was it like that?
Yeah, at Oak City, basically at Oak City is it's a little different. It's from all the other races because Oak City you have to win to advance. Only one winner. Okay, only one person advances.
So you kept winning?
Yeah, I just kept winning.
You just won every time? That's awesome. Yeah.
It was amazing. I mean, the race gods were on my side, and they normally are not. So, I mean, thank you, race gods.
Just give a moment there.
Yeah, we gave amen.
My word.
All right. So, how much time was in between each race? Like, what did you have for time in between all
Lots.
those wins? And what did you do
Lots.
during that time?
I would ride around like in little areas fast to just stay hot, so you don't like. Because if you didn't, like, you'd probably get like stiff, dude. Like that's the one thing that Oak City I'd like for you guys to do maybe next year is make it a little quicker throughout. Because like if you're a one wheel racer, you have to wait for like the EUC guys, and you have to wait for like the skateboarder, summer board guys, and it's usually like a
Okay.
9 to 3 kind of situation. Like in those 6 hours, I only raced like 5 or 6 times, you know. Um, but it was
Well,
amazing nonetheless. I love you,
and
Oak City.
and because it's kind of like the tournament style, like you're waiting for the next bracket to get done and this. But what was it like having EUC racers out there?
It was cool. I mean, as a whole, I think EUC teamed up with Onewheel is good just to help grow these sports together. But I don't know if we're going out there for Oak City Shredfest, maybe do all the one wheel racing, bam, then do all the EUC
Okay.
racing. The EUC racing also because they're, they damage the trail even more so too. So as the day goes on, the trail gets just more and more worse.
Ah.
Yeah, Scott did want to know what that was like having them race it first. How did that change the terrain? I mean, their wheels are thinner, right? Typically?
Yeah, they're thinner and they have like suspension. So I mean, maybe it's not as bad as I'm thinking it would be, but
Well, but
yeah,
if
just
you
as the
raced
day went
it,
on, it got worse and worse.
yeah, if you
Say
raced
what?
it and it's like you couldn't really memorize the track or any, if someone raced differently, then that would be tough because you wouldn't necessarily be able to pick the same line you picked or, all of that. That'd be tough.
I was
But
picking the same line all damn day though, for
okay.
sure. It
So
was
it
getting
didn't
worse
really
and worse,
affect
but I
you.
was. Well, I mean, you would stray away a little bit off it, like if you saw like a bigger hole here and there. But for the most part, there was like a line that you would hit, especially like in the back part where it was just this like curvy straightaway kind of thing. You could definitely like hug the corners a little bit. Yeah, I was definitely kind of hitting the same line basically all day,
Nice.
and that was kind of my strategy was to kind of get the foothold. Get the foothold, guys. We need to talk about these footholds. Get the whole
We're going to
shot.
get there. We're going to get there. I
Yeah,
want to know what you were
for sure.
riding.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the strategy was to get the foothold. The strategy was to get the hole shot and then control the speed a little bit, where we're not going super crazy, falling trying to chase down Luke Austin and falling into the sand dune of hell. So yeah, I was basically trying to get the hole shot and control the speed and I did my line, dude. That's why I'm bringing it
Nice.
up because I was basically hitting the same line every day, all day.
And then there were also e-skateboards racing. What was that like?
Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was cool. I looked at them; they had a smile on their face. It looked pretty
Cool.
sick.
Did they race each other like e-skate versus e-skate?
Oh yeah,
Dang.
they were e-skating it up.
And then
Summerboarding.
I heard Austin Silva ran into some lady. Did you hear about?
Bystander
Were you
on the
there?
trail.
Did you see it? She was standing on the trail.
I actually saw it straight up in real life.
Okay.
I want to hear the story from your vantage point.
Well, I'm kind of I'm a fast person, I guess. Like I'm a reactive person a little bit. You know what I mean? And the lack of urgency that this person had to get out the way was cringe to me. So if you're watching this, no offense, person, but have some more urgency when you're screwing up a race. Lord.
Urgency is a good thing. I wonder what was going through their mind, in general.
When I saw the footage
Not
of
my
it,
problem. Not my problem. What should be the problem? She should get out the hell out the way, though.
You're right. There wasn't a whole lot of urgency to move, and so you just wondered what was happening. Like, how did you get there in the first place? How did you even think that now was the good time? Or
let's definitely get on to the footholds. But I will add about that. Yeah, like they ran into one person and then they didn't jump the hell out the way. Then they ran into a second person. They still didn't jump out the hell of the way. I was like, what the hell? I don't know. But it was just a small. And shout out to Austin, man. Austin Silva really did something really cool there because instead of rerunning it, he was just like, you know what? Jonathan was ahead of me by quite a bit. Let's just give him the third because to be honest, Austin already has a first place in Vegas. Like to give Jonathan that third place at Oak City, I think it was just a really cool act that Austin didn't really make a big deal of it, because he was way behind Jonathan. So it's not like he just gave Jonathan the winner at all. But yeah, he's like, dude, I'm
He
already
handled it
in.
with class.
Don't you think?
He handled it like really cool. So shout out to him and shout out to Jonathan. Not taking anything away from Jonathan. Jonathan was killing that race.
Yeah, he's
and
fast.
It was a shame. Yeah, Jonathan's fast as hell, and it was a shame that person got in his way to even like screw it all up. But shout out to Jonathan and Austin. Love those guys.
Yeah. Okay, cool. He keeps saying he wants to get on the footholds.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, we need to talk about the footholds.
Let's talk about
We've
it.
already wasted 10 minutes talking.
Were you racing with footholds?
I mean, come on. Does a bear crap in the woods? Of course. I'm trying to take this sport to the next level, guys. And
were you racing your Vesk or no?
Negative, but
okay. That's all I wanted to know.
You had the hookers on.
Very soon. I had the hookers on, and I will say this real quick so people don't get it twisted. I'm going to refer to this whole conversation as footholds. I'm not trying to cram all this down people's throat because of the hookers. I'm really not. I really come from a place of caring about this sport, and I have a vision, and it's effortlessly what I'm doing. I don't have to think about. I have a vision for it. Okay, so I'm going to share my opinion, and I'm doing it to only better the sport. I'm not trying to throw salt in the game or anything, but I'm not coming from a promo stance. We'll call them footholds for the whole time, because literally I'm caring about the growth of this sport. It's not about just selling some hookers, dude.
And you're saying you're going to call it footholds because you want people to experience, like, find the footholds that work for them. Obviously you like the hookers, but find footholds that work for them.
Quit calling me. All right, so more so yes and no. Like, no, because check it out. One-wheeling is cool enough on its own, okay? The one wheel by itself does not need hooks. If you're a street rider, if you're riding, just vibing on trails, if you do tricks, you do not need hooks. My stance is only coming from a place of competitive racing, okay? Why do professional snowboarders, all right, snowboarding is in the Olympics, okay? Because that is a gnarly sport to watch. The guys that are going down on the snowboard without the bindings, no one even knows about that, okay? So let's, on the one wheel, kind of do the same stuff. Let's give the people a more gnarly show, okay? Let's actually give the people what the board is potentially, the edge of the board, what the board can actually do. If you don't have footholds, you can't go to that extent of what the board can do, okay? And I feel like faster racing, bigger jumps makes a cooler sport. I have been to all the races last year. I've been to all the races this year. Man, I mean, I can't beat around the bush. I can't lie, dude. Like, the attendance seems a little lacking this year. So wouldn't it be cool if most people thought, hey, if we said, hey, guys, footholds can be in Race for the Rail. How many more one-wheelers are going to the race because they want to go to Race for the Rail because they love footholds? I got to Race for the Rail the first year with no footholds. I didn't ride footholds. I don't mind training on a stock board. I'll do it. But 90% of the people will not do that, okay? If they're going to race a stock board, don't bother. I'll just be chilling over here. And that's not growing the sport. Growing the sport is saying, hey, guys, footholds are allowed at Race for the Rail. Bring it. Dude, you imagine how many people would be showing up to the races to try their hand at Race for the Rail if foot hooks were in? That's common sense. It's clear on the wall right here, okay? And I feel like there's only a couple of people. Go ahead.
Well, on that, Race for the Rails, like, yes, it's what, you're trying to advance towards and be at and ultimately win. But if you're even just wanting to race, the races are opening that up for, bring your footholds. So you could still be racing. You may not make the Race for the Rails, but you could still race.
For sure. But if you give them the incentive that footholds are in Race for the Rail, they're going to actually be going to these races and trying to actually compete professionally versus like hitting an event once a year just because, hey, it's around. You know what I mean? Maybe it'll grow the sport because they'll actually have it's more fun. It's more gnarly. 90% of the riders out there have footholds. Why would you accommodate to a very small percentage versus the 90% of people that have the footholds? Okay. The airs are cooler. You can, like, now the board is actually there too. When you were on XR and you could only go like 28 miles an hour, very fast to speed going down the mountain, you really don't. That's like the very edge of needing hooks. You really don't need them. But now with the GTS going 35 easy on a trail, then yeah, you need hooks, dude. Like, it's safer, dude. Ever since I got on foot hooks, I fall way less. I have way more fun. I do way bigger shit. Let's get everyone on that so we can grow this sport. Okay. Some people, in fact, someone, one of Dave's homies, Thor, was talking on my IG talking about it's not a sport. Dude, it is a sport, all right? And right now, there is a lot of people like yourself that think it's a hobby. But if we put the footholds on the boards and we do Race for the Rail, and ESPN has this badass show of people doing jumps and doing gnarly stuff, and it actually catches on and it legitimizes the sport, then it's a sport and it won't die. Right now, it's 1 foot in the door, 1 foot out the door of being a legitimate sport. If we're doing shit that's cool to the masses, I feel like that's where we need to be heading, okay? If someone that does not one wheel thinks what we're doing is cool, that's the direction. Right now, they look at it and they don't see the skill factor it takes to do what we're doing, and it's not that cool, dude, okay? We see the attendance lacking. I'm not saying that one wheel isn't cool. Like I said at the very beginning of this, one wheel is cool on its own. I'm speaking just about competitive racing. Let's take it all the way to the edge, okay? So we can get this shit popping.
Well,
you heard it here.
You heard. Yeah, I mean, tell us how you really feel.
Yeah, wow. I loved it.
I mean, I'm passionate. That's why, like, I don't have to think about that. It's not a script. It's literally in my head because I have a vision. It's clear on the wall right here to me.
Okay.
And I will say this. Let me just add one more little thing before I give it right back to you. It's gonna happen. So regardless of it happening tomorrow, the next day, I know this is going to happen. And I'm gonna be telling so many people I told you
with
so.
the foot hooks.
Yes, and like basically like just an idea of how it could happen is Vest keeps pushing this sport along, and Future Motion will jump in on it. Okay, the GTS is sick, but dude, to be honest, if they had remote and footholds that came with the board, it would be for that same price. Oh my god, it would be so amazing.
Well, I don't know that I mean,
and you call it the sport, and you call it the racer pack. Okay, you don't need it if you're not a racer. You don't need the remote and the holder. You don't need the foot hooks based model, straight up. I'm not trying to say everyone will need foot hooks. Like, people that ride street don't need them. People that do like tricks they don't need some foothold on their way. You know what I mean? But
maybe you make a racer pack, but it's not going to be the same price, that's for sure, because they're also selling to the general public. So that's a whole nother podcast. That's a whole nother.
But that's why I was trying to just interject that to grow this. Like, that goes into growing the sport, So like, because it's so expensive, the entry level is so high. You got less racers this year. You got a lot of people that were dialed in on a GT don't want to race this year because all the GTSs. So that might be also why attendance is a little lacking.
Well,
okay?
that could.
So we need a GT class. We need an XR class. We need a pint class. Boom. That's another.
What about the people who like are with you on the footholds but aren't with you on the remote? Because someone just put in here, you just lost me when you said the remote thing. But what if they want the footholds?
Okay.
Like, truly, how do you please?
Okay, so let me just touch on the remote thing real quick, dude. And I'm the guy to talk about the remote because I dialed in with no remote, and now I have a remote. And I was right. I was right about the remote. Okay, I was seriously right about it when I was like saying, "Hey, Vest guys, you're." Here's an invitation to come race with us, okay? Drop the remote. I was completely right by that because dropping the remote would have made Vest versus GTS almost there.
Comparable.
With the remote, dude. With the remote, oh my god. Dude, these guys are using it the whole time. It's like a throttle rocket in their hand. It is amazing. A one wheel without a remote is like a limp fish now to me, okay? FM, we need a remote. Seriously, these guys do have the advantage hardcore. Oh my god! And it's like,
but wouldn't we see them winning? Wouldn't we see them winning?
Huh?
Well, they're.
Well, no. Here's the thing: there's a lot more better riders on FM boards. No, there's a lot of better riders on FM boards. I'm sorry, no offense. I'm just talking about like all the top 10 guys that usually go race for the rail. If they were all on Vest boards and they all raced remote, they would be smashing. And so all those people that used to be on the remote were just praying like, oh, I can win against the FM guys if I have a remote, and they don't have a remote. Yes, they can, because the advantage is so hardcore. Little Jeff hasn't even been riding a one wheel very much. He got the remote a couple days ago. He's having so much fun with it that he's back into riding because of the Vest and the remote. Seriously, like, it's so fun and it's so much power at your fingertips. You're not using it sometimes. You're using it the entire freaking time. and takeoff, when you're freaking at the line and the gate drops, you ever wonder why Nico slingshots out that thing? Get a remote and do it. Oh my God.
Well,
we need a remote FM.
This is so fun.
FM,
Do you
we need
guys
a
see
remote.
his
he's
vein
so
popping
passionate
out?
about this.
Ooh.
He's so.
I love that you felt like
FM,
the
we need a
need to
remote.
say, like, and for those of you who don't know, Jeff works for a Onewheel company, Onewheel Parts, that sells these foot hooks. I love that you felt the need to say, it's not just because I'm like related. You can see the passion. So
Yeah,
I think
for
that
sure.
that's not in question
Owls,
at all.
Overlanders, control freaks.
Yeah.
All of flight fins. Like, dude, it's all of them. They whatever you prefer, you could ride. But just end of the day, they allow you to do way better stuff. And I think while we have right now we're relevant. We have a new GTS out. We're still on ESPN last year with the race for the rail. While we have this little bit of fire, let's throw some gas on it. You know what I mean? And freaking and raise the stakes and start making this a little more extreme, a little cooler.
Well,
Footholds is the answer.
I think that's all. I mean, that's all good and everything, but it's almost as if we're saying, "Great, we have all these ideas. Future motion, figure it out." You know, when someone else
They don't have to. All they got to do, nope. All they have to do is say, "Guys, at Race for the Rail, Wild Wild West, baby, bring the hooks.
Bring whatever you want."
That's not that hard. That's not that hard.
I do. Well, you gotta. I mean, you're right. It does have to be comparable of what these boards are. It can't just be. But I think then you're asking all these people that do the races throughout the racing league and the racing season to have all these different classes.
No,
which
they're already doing it.
They are already
now,
doing it.
They're already doing it, and some people are confused. They're like, it's not consistent enough. Well, dude, my message to all those people is like, dude, just start wearing hooks, because that's what I did.
That's
I
where
came
it's headed.
in not wanting hooks. Yeah, I came in not
Or
riding
a
hooks,
remote.
and the competition made me get on hooks. Okay, like it's either do it or get left. You know, eat or get eaten. All right, so I think there's only like 2 or 3 people that are against the footholds, dude. Like everyone else is down with it, and so those 2 or 3 people need to get with it, because to be honest, Tyler James, if he was on footholds, I mean, I've seen what that guy can do on a surfboard, on a snowboard, on a skateboard, and if he would get on some hooks and do some stuff that we're doing, he would kill. Like, we would have no chance. Okay, I'd have no chance. All right, Tyler would be flying through the air, and I think more people would get on board. You got this surfer dude flying through the air, making it cool, and making a bunch of younger kids want to get on a one wheel, and we can grow this sport, dude. Let's go.
Well, all right. You hear it from Jeff. He's very passionate about it. I did at Oak City. We did see you and Tyler James going head to head. I can't remember who else was in that. And you and the other guy crashed, and Tyler got out of that. But you ended up going on, obviously. That was right at the beginning.
No, shout out to Tyler on that race. That was a fun race. But as I passed him, I was gonna say should have had the hookers. But if he had the hookers, that the race might have been different. I mean, I really think if he had hookers, dude, Austin, Neil Bennett, Tyler James, the whole factory team, if they had hookers on their boards at that last race and in Texas, different results, baby. Different results.
Has Onewheel Parts made custom hookers for the Onewheel factory team and sent them to them and said, try
Give
it?
it a try.
All right, who spilled the beans on that?
I just made it up. I swear.
Neil, Austin,
I made it up.
Who spilled the beans?
No,
I made it up. I made it up. Did you really do that?
I'm kidding. Who knows? Maybe.
Oh, let's see. Because I think with all the passion, you not that you're not doing it, but let's.
Well, you're giving him an opportunity to jump in with you, not just make your own.
Yeah, Tyler, we need to get you on the hooks, baby. Come on. Like, seriously, just put you 100 miles on them, do some big jumps, let Onewheel take some cool pictures, and tell me when y'all all get to the board meeting room and you look at these sick-ass pictures of you doing massive Send It Sam airs, you're not going to say to yourself, that's not going to sell Onewheels.
There you go.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Let's sell some Onewheels. Let's get some hooks. Let's hit it.
I love the passion. I do
so
wish
passionate.
The passion is good because I wish more people in the world were passionate about things, because some people are just
the Onewheel community is confused a little bit sometimes because literally there was a guy on my comments a minute ago that was like team footholds, but kind of like saying like well, skateboarding's in the Olympics. I'm like, bro, skateboarding is like, you got to do tricks. You can't be locked in. And then I look at his page and he's on flight fins. I'm like, this guy's a freaking foothold guy with a free foot game. It's like, bro, do you even know where you stand?
I mean,
well, there will probably be more of that for sure.
I'm just a girl trying to learn how to ride a one wheel and hoping it doesn't go down the cliff
Yeah, like
in
Holly
dirt
is
surfers.
nowhere in. So what about that? Like Holly is nowhere in this conversation. What about? Are we
so
just
also,
talking about
footholds
racers?
Goes great with noobs. All right, so I've only been talking about competitive racing.
Yeah, you
now
have.
Let's talk about noobs. Let's talk about noobs. Noobs love flight fins, okay? The confidence that it gives people on the board is amazing, and so that's just another no-brainer, okay? You're going to get more people on the one wheel.
It's also probably scary,
it sounds
though,
like
to think
footholds need to be freaking just on. It
on
sounds
the
like
board.
it's making a lot of sense to me. I don't know.
You're always making sense, Jeff.
Yeah, you're not like not making sense.
No, I think there's probably for sure a way for it to come in the racing side of things. I just think every year it's going to change. It's going to develop, and that's just sport in general. Like,
yeah, and you
everything
could say
changes.
it could all happen.
I think it's the infancy of sports. One day it won't change every year like it's doing right now, but because
it is
it's
the
new, it
infancy.
is changing every year.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Of it being such a
evolving.
new sport, it's constantly going to be changing for some time, just to be able to get it,
Agreed.
where it is the most competitive and the most fun for people. If you don't have a following, if you don't have people enjoy watching it, then it's not ever going to be aired, or, it's just for the bystander.
Well, if anyone was confused or questioning where does Jeff Adair stand today, you should know. You should know. I mean, it's almost as clear as who he's voting for. You should know where he stands. So, Jeff, we'll see you at Dirt Surfers, right?
Yep.
Absolutely. I will
Are
be
you
down
excited
there.
for Dirt Surfers?
Dude, I'm more than excited. Like, I'm freaking going to go there this weekend and check it out.
Great.
So,
Love it.
I'm going to go there this weekend, give her a good look. I hear there's some sort of uphill drifting rally car race there on that. You know that big hill, like right when you make a ride out of Passion Play?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my.
They're racing cars up that.
Oh,
this
my
What?
gosh. No, thank you.
Yeah,
that
dude.
sounds so scary.
I love all of Eureka Springs. Whatever. That's great. It sounds so fun to me.
Mm-hmm. So
Well,
there's
Jeff-
going to be a few. Go ahead.
If people want to get in on the conversation, or they have more questions, or they want to be like, did you know skateboarding is in the Olympics? Are you one of those who will answer a DM?
Yeah, I'm. Instagram is probably the best way to just reach right out to me and communicate with me. Jeff Adair Shreds on Instagram. Follow One Wheel Parts too. Go ahead and give those guys a follow. And we got some hookers that are available now. We got some 5-inch billets that just popped up at the shop today, actually.
Love it.
Okay.
That's what you kind of. That's a good combo right there. That the 5-inch with the hookers. Because I'll give you a little secret real quick, and if you're still on the live, every PSI game. Well, I kind of like a higher PSI, and you couldn't even do a high PSI without the footholds, baby. But that high PSI gives you that zip. All right, so that's kind of some of my preferences. It's not as popular as the low PSI. Everyone loves a low PSI, but I just like a zippy wheel, versus
And
a
your
real
foot hooks,
luggage.
they hold you in with the higher PSI.
And the hooks make that happen. The hooks
Nice.
make that backboard you lock in.
It's good to know. Good to know.
Well, thank you, Jeff, for hanging with us today. I mean, really, it was a pleasure. That was fun.
That was something else.
It was fun. It
was
fun.
And it will never leave the internet.
I don't mind.
You will always have an opportunity to hang with us. We love you, Jeff. And we'll see you at Dirt Surfers. We're going to get Racheal Cecil on, who won the female in the pro division at Oak City. So excited to hear from her, just like we got to hear from you
I'm
today.
excited to hear about her. I think she's gonna start wearing hooks too. She's coming around. So.
All right.
Well,
all
stay
right.
tuned,
We'll see what she has
and
to
we'll
say about
ask
it.
her.
Thank you, Jeff, so much. We
guys.
appreciate you.
Bye, Jeff.
Thank you.
That was fun.
He's always fun. I mean, he's always a blast to have.
Yeah,
So
that was fun.
we are excited to have Racheal. We have gotten to talk to her before, right after she won last year.
Yes.
So
Oak City too, right? It was the same race that she won, right? Because it was in the same
we
time
had her
period.
on Race for the Rails.
After that?
After she won the whole shebang.
Okay.
So
Well, she's ready to go. Should we bring her in?
yeah, I didn't know she had called in yet. This
She's
is
here.
great.
Let's bring her in. Racheal, how are you?
What's up, guys?
It's
I'm
good
doing
to
great. How are
see
y'all?
you. We're good. I mean, you were watching, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
That'll be a
fun.
little tough to follow. Jeez.
I feel like I need to take a deep breath.
There we go. All right. All right.
Okay, Racheal, how are you doing? How's life since we last talked to you, which Holly just told me was right after Race for the Rail, after you won it, which I'm remembering now.
Yeah, life has been good. Can't complain. Just got Oak City. Things went well. Everything went
Yeah.
according to plan, so we're doing good.
Okay, I have a quick question for you. Had you already, everyone, the biggest talk that we get is what races is Racheal going to be at? Where is she going to show up? You never know. How is she training? What's going on? And then you just come up and you're like, hey, everybody, see everybody.
That's
I'll
really
take
the
the
vibe.
win,
It's really the
So
vibe.
had you planned to be at Oak City? Was this one that you consistently go to? It's near you or closer to you, Had you already planned to be
Yeah,
there?
this was the race I did last year. It was like 2 weeks before I got married, and so that's why I wasn't at Oak City, or not Oak City. I wasn't at Dirt Surfers because I was getting married that weekend.
Yes.
Oh,
So I
yeah.
was planning to go to this one for the smaller points because this year I do have to qualify for Race for the Rail. I don't get an automatic ticket. So this was my smaller points, and then I plan on going to Seek and Shredfest and Wheel Scorchers for my three.
Awesome.
Okay.
And what's that like this year? Were you expecting that? Were you expecting to not have that ticket and, need to race? Or was there any question of like, will they give that to me again?
So I think I expected not to have the Race for the Rail ticket, but I was like a little frustrated that Float Life Fest was a premier event, but it didn't give me an automatic bid to Race for the Rail this year, uh, because all the other premier events got you an automatic ticket. So it is what it is. I'm gonna do my best to qualify and be there and be one of the top 10. So that's all you can do.
Okay, so Float Life that was after the season, right? Is that correct?
Yeah, so Flow Life Fest was the third event I did last season, and
Yep.
it was the last chance to earn points to get to be the season champion. And just with the way that like I got first at Oak City, I got first at Race for the Rail, and then I snagged first at Float Life Fest.
Mm-hmm.
I had the most points for the season. It was a crazy strategy. I wasn't planning to do that, but
Sure.
that's just kind of what happened. So that could be part of the reason why they took the automatic ticket away, was so that the season champion really can earn it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you heard Jeff kind of explain his experience at Oak City even with the EUC going first, maybe changing up the trail a little bit. What's your perspective? You don't have to, retell the whole thing if it's very similar, but I want to hear your perspective as a female and just what that's like. We were out at Austin for Lemonade Float Fest, and we talked to Sarah Meeker after that. I don't know if you saw that podcast, but we noticed all the ladies kind of grouping up together, practicing together. Is that something that was taking place at Oak City? I would just like especially as a female racer, would love to hear the vibes of what that was like and all of that for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So we definitely were practicing together. It was actually kind of cool. There was two new like 15-year-old girls that were racing in the pro. So
That's
when I met
awesome.
them, yeah, I met Paige first and I met her mom, so I knew she existed.
Yes,
And
they're a
so I
great
met
family.
Paige.
We know them.
Yeah, she's
Awesome
so
family.
cool. And so she was about to go hit the qualifier. So I was like, yo, you want to hit it with me? And so I kind of like showed her the way that I was going to do it. And then we followed her the next time. So she did it on her own. And she mentioned something about like not having a bunch of pads or something. And I had brought a bunch of function wrist guards with me, because whenever I was like functions rider of the month, they sent me a bunch of wrist guards.
Oh, nice.
And so I asked her, like, yo, do you want a set of function wrist guards? And she was like, yeah, I do. So I brought her over to my car and got her a set of function wrist guards. And then I met Hazel, who was in my heat, actually.
Wow.
And she's really sweet and really cool, too. And I was like, do you want a pair of function wrist guards? And she was like, yes. And
That's
so I got them
awesome.
both function wrist guards, looking cool. And then Hazel was wearing hers for our heat. So that's always a fun experience, like giving back to the younger
Yeah.
racers that are joining our community. And then, yeah, I mean, I worked with Laura Dobbs the day before our race, and she was also in my heat, which is so funny. I didn't really realize it at the time, but I would have helped her nonetheless. So I was helping her with some lines on the kicker because she was a little nervous going into it. And then working with, Sarah Meeker on some settings. We were practicing with Mercedes. Like all of us were really like working together and kind of giving each other tips and stuff. So it's a really collaborative experience with the women, and it's really healthy, and I really enjoy it.
It's fun. It's super fun to be a part of. So you're on the Float Life team. Congratulations.
Yeah, that's big.
That's awesome.
That's huge.
That was a fun release. We talked about it. I think, look at all these effects on. I love it. I'm kind of jealous. Our technology doesn't have anything like that.
I was like, oh, that little thumbs up was kind of fun, and the bubbles, and now you
couldn't really
fireworks.
ignore the fireworks. That's so funny. Okay, so we talked about, was that just last week on the podcast? We talked about.
It had just gotten announced, the
Yeah.
float team, and yeah.
So before we ask more questions about Scott kind of saying Float Life team versus factory team, how is that for you? Like just being on the Float Life team, you are, I think you and Racheal McCosker.
Yep.
Racheal. So what's that like? Tell us about it. We're excited for this.
Yeah, I mean, so I've been on the Float Life team for I think like the last 4 years, and this year I feel like when I wear the jersey, it really means something. I feel like have just done so much for our community and for the sport.
They have.
And they really make one-wheeling look cool. I feel like one-wheeling is one of those things where like we're on the border between, is this a dorky thing to do? Is this cool? And Float Life like firmly makes sure we stay on the cool side of it.
They do.
That's
It's
so
true.
Yeah, so it's really an honor to be on their team, and they've really been taking care of their riders this year. Like, Elijah and Ryan and Jesse were all at Oak City, which was pretty cool, seeing them out there supporting me, and just like being there generally, which was really cool. And then, getting my own rails manufactured with my
Yeah.
name on them are sick,
Yeah,
and
sweet.
getting to design my own bank bumpers that'll be coming out in a couple weeks.
Wow.
It really makes me like proud to be a one-wheel rider and like proud to be on their team. So I'm really happy about it.
That's awesome.
That's so awesome. I know we have said from the get-go when the factory team was announced, well, I should say Scott has said from the get-go that watching some of these other companies like create teams, and he's not just for like, it's not like you guys are against each other. It just is a camaraderie that's super fun to watch of the teams working together or like supporting each other, like what you're saying. So it's super fun that when they announced that, we were instantly like, yes, let's
what
go.
we've been
Like,
wanting.
and he got a little bit of pushback with the factory team versus the Float Life team. And it's not, we watch you guys at these events, and you said it earlier, watching you guys work together, interact, or like ride, just even training together. It is so fun to see. It's different than other sports. It's different than because it's like you have this one-wheel racing that's kind of an individual, but now you kind of see the team aspect into it. It's just cool. So it's fun to see this Float Life team. You guys, hands down, fun, screaming, fun all over the place.
Screaming fun. So what are your thoughts? Do you want to see a team division take place in the racing league? Would that be fun? Is it, what can you share with us?
That might be said right there, Racheal.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've been racing with like Raquel McCosker and like Rachel Payne for so long that I think there is mutual respect and like we're rooting for each other regardless. So I think it will be cool to like have a teammate at Seek and Shred and Wheel Scorcher. I think Raquel's going to try to make it out to Wheel Scorcher. So
Cool.
I definitely think like it will be nice to have somebody like a confidant, maybe. I don't know if I'll give all my secrets away, but it will be nice to like have somebody that I think maybe I could trust on a little bit of a different level because we're, repping the same brand. So yeah, but I mean, as far as like us versus them, I don't really think that's the case. I mean, we're all just doing this for fun and we're taking it seriously, don't get me wrong, but I don't think there's any bad blood between us and the factory team.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
It's
either.
funny though, like even with how you guys are doing it, it does create this, would they ever verse each other? Could there ever be team versus team? And there's even people in the chat that are saying like team TFL for the win. Like, there's people that are, whether or not it's happening behind the scenes or it's like starting or budding or whatever is going to become of it, people are already trying to get on this horse that is either riding or not. You know what I mean?
And-
so it's fun. I think it's fun.
And people, like the general public, they want to wear jerseys with names on the back of them. You know what I mean? Like, they want to see, they love that, you know? And so it is super fun to see, like, if there's going to be like merchandise that's going to have, you know, the names of the racers and stuff. So people love that, and it makes them feel like who they want to represent. And
yeah, it's like Viking fans in Minnesota.
Yes. Yes, please.
Or Falcon fans in
Are you
Atlanta.
a Falcon?
Are you a Falcon fan? Do you care?
I don't really follow the football too much. I'm more of
Understandable.
like an Atlanta United fan.
Okay.
if you will.
Soccer, right? I'm
Yeah, I
guessing.
like soccer a
Okay,
little bit more.
they're all united.
The Falcons, what are we doing, guys? The draft pick, wasn't that crazy? I don't know.
Well, hey, you're talking to a Vikings fan, so it was pretty intense when you took Cousins and all of it.
gosh.
So that might be for another day as well, because
Yeah, for real.
we're not a Vikings podcast, unfortunately.
Hey,
Yeah, if
I don't
Scott was
know
here, might
anything
talk
about
longer.
Vikings, but
I don't know anything about all of it.
You took our top quarterback. You have Cousins now, so
Yeah,
and we didn't even need him. Like, what are we doing?
I love it.
we'll see.
It's so funny.
We'll see.
Okay, so you were listening. You heard the whole spiel from Jeff about foot hooks. What are your thoughts? The picture, let's throw up that thumbnail if we can, my lovely ladies. It's very obvious here in this thumbnail Scott made us. If we can put that up, that would be awesome. Okay,
Oh, hang
so
on.
Jeff is very
There we go.
evidently holding his board with foot hooks. I don't know if that's the board he raced because he's obviously not racing in the picture. This is a picture of you racing from Oak City. You're obviously on a GT. I want to know if it's an S, and there's no foot hook. So we're going to give you the floor. What did you race with at Oak City? What are your thoughts on foot hooks? We'll probably interrupt, but let's hear it. I'm so excited to hear your thoughts.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think I have a little bit of a different perspective on it because I think Jeff, he's team like, let's change the world. Let's get foot hooks. And I'm team, I want to win the race that tells me I'm the best in the world. You know?
Yeah, I love that.
And right now, in order to do that, you can't race with foot hooks, right? If those rules change, would I change? Maybe. I don't know. I enjoy riding without foot hooks. It suits my style. Like as a trick rider, I move my feet around the board so much that like if my feet do get bucked around, I can keep my balance and get them back into place, which I disadvantage. I saw like a couple of the women's feet kind of get bucked out of their hooks, and it was a little bit harder for them to get back into position while riding. So I think that if I'm going to be a devil's advocate, would be a con. I think the goal of them is to not fall and not get your feet knocked out, but I mean, things happen.
Yeah, for sure.
True.
Yeah, so you're not going to catch me riding with foot hooks this season unless rules change. And I think, like, I'm fortunate to be on the women's side because I think I can still qualify for Race for the Rail. I think I can still be top 10 as long as I make it to these 3 events without foot hooks and with racing pretty much a stock board. Like, I have an enduro, I've got a 6.5-inch hub. Like, I'm following all of the rules within the Race for the Rail that I need to. So that when it's championship day, nothing's going to be different. And I will have race these women on the board on that setup.
I think
and I won't have to adjust.
Of a lot of the people that we interview, something that baffles me, and I asked a couple people before this of like, at what point do you switch to ride what you have to ride at Race for the Rail? And I love you're very consistent with that, and I really respect that because like for any sport, anything you do, you need to practice to play the real, right? And simulating that is super important. So were you on is it a GTS?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a GTS.
Okay, cool. Any insight to like what mode you're riding? Any things you like to change? You don't have to because it's still racing season. But what do you like? What do you prefer even for training?
Yeah, so I mean, I was like Team Highline for a while, but I'm now Team Flow. I've got some Flow settings that I really like, and I think that if you're not adjusting your custom shaping per event, then you're doing yourself a disservice in doing
That's what I was
so.
going to ask you. Do the three that you're going to this year are going to be very different terrain. And so do you get out there and do you kind of practice through a little bit and then have to adjust? Because I think that's one big thing that we don't hear. We hear people in their settings and stuff, but is there a mental part of it where you got to get out there, kind of write it, then you got to know these settings enough to be able to change it to your benefit? Is that how you work each event a little bit? Like, because you got to you're going for the win when you're there. That's what you just said. So you got to go in mind of like, okay, how do I adjust to this course?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like my nothing new on race day mentality is the same with the hardware, but with custom shaping, like I really got to get dialed in and make adjustments. And then once I feel good about it, leave it alone.
Yeah.
Leave it alone
Nice.
on race day, unless it's like something that's like blatantly obvious or something's weird going on. But yeah, if you're not changing your custom shaping and adapting, I think it can really be a disadvantage this year.
Okay, and it was a little bit interesting to hear you say the hub that you're riding, especially because the Float Life has the 5-inch. Are you just because you know you have to race that? Have you tried the 5-inch and you just don't? Some people will say they're going to ride whatever they want to make sure they secure it and then go to train on but are you just sticking with what you have to because you want to, or you just haven't given the other ones a try?
Yeah, I mean, I have a 5-inch hub. I definitely think it's an advantage, but there's something about like racing these women who have foot hooks and who have 5-inch hubs and going up against them on a relatively stock board and doing well that really makes me really excited. And I think it's going to make me really dangerous at Race for the Rail. I mean,
I love
Mercedes and I are
that.
playing the same game, you know?
Yeah.
I've been playing this game for the last 2 years where I ride stock all season. And yeah, so I'm sticking to my game plan.
I love
I
that.
love it. That's great.
There's
That's
like
great.
a fire inside of her while she's saying that.
Well,
that like she's like, keep it tame, keep it tame.
Yeah, you can
but
tell.
I know how you feel.
You
It's
can
fun.
totally tell that you're kind of, being
Yeah.
subtle with this and being, but there's such a confidence in that of knowing like you do know what type of rider you are. I remember watching you last year and the year before, like when we don't get to see a ton of you out there, or, and doing the different stuff, like, and then you come in and you're so hardcore. It's like there's such a confidence and it's so fun to watch. It's so great.
It is fun. I'm like so surprised at all the races we've been to. We haven't been able to meet you, Racheal.
Oh my gosh, isn't that crazy?
It's crazy. And your anniversary is coming up, so you won't be at Dirt Surfers, correct? I mean, you told us.
Yes.
The other two you're
Yes,
going
yes.
to. It's exciting
man.
though.
I'm excited to watch Dirt Surfers, but I am glad I'm not going to be there. That's going to be crazy.
I'm racing.
It will be.
Rachel, I'm racing.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It's going to be crazy. She's right. That's
It's
crazy.
Let's go.
All I'm doing is praying my board does. Actually, it's going to be my daughter's board that doesn't go down the cliff.
Yeah, that's
People's board goes down on the cliff all the time. You'll be all right.
She like has this cute little mint set up, and she said the other day, "Mom, can you not? I'd really like this not to go down the cliff."
Can you not race? Can you not race? Is that what she was asking?
Well, no, I don't think she was asking that. Maybe she was saying, "Can you use, my brother's board?" I don't know, but we're gonna give it a go. So then maybe next year you can join Dirt Surfers.
That'll be fun.
We'll see.
You never know. Yeah. Well, happy almost anniversary. Is there anything else you want to, the floor is yours for the upcoming race season, Race for the Rails, gaining points. I know that some of Seek and Shred is a premiere, right? So if you get first, you punch your ticket. So that's the goal. What else?
Yep.
What else do you want to share with the Onewheel community? It's not polar opposite from Jeff, but it is different, and I think that that's really fun for today to have such a difference. So, one last time before we sign off, we'll have you on again. Hopefully before Race for the Rail. After another win would be sweet. So, but before we end today, what do you got for us?
Yeah, I guess if I'm just going to play devil's advocate with Jeff, it's mountain biking is an Olympic sport. And I think that there's some mountain bikers who don't like to clip in. That's a preference. So there's that. Surfing's an Olympic sport. You don't have binding on surfboards.
Oh,
Granted, it's trick riding, but it's fast. So those are two examples of no foot hooks. But I think like what he's saying is absolutely true. Like the board, the GTS without foot hooks, I don't think that you're using its full potential. But staying on the board is the name of the game. And I
right.
think that there's a certain level of risk in airing out during a race and like maybe going bigger than you might because it's a race, versus not having foot hooks, staying conservative, staying on the ground. But could be an advantage on a corner. I don't know.
Well,
So
yeah.
And on that, I think there's so many different aspects of an enduro style race and then the head to head, you know, when you've
So
got
different.
You know, there are different, you know. Last question for you. I'm looking at the ORL standings. Do you know where you rank?
yeah, but I mean, it's so early in the game. You know, it's like Mercedes, Rachel Payne, and I all have firsts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then only one of the littler points are going to count as long as everybody goes to the bigger points. So
Yeah.
my season's not over yet, baby.
Oh no. And you're looking good where you're at right now, so it's exciting to see. And we got to give props to whoever's updating. They updated everything so quick this year. We know exactly what's happening as the watchers, all of that. So it's been great. We know where everybody's at.
Yeah. And the women this year are so fast, man. They really are.
Unbelievable.
So it's going to be a crazy season. I'm excited to see what happens.
We're excited too, Racheal. Thank you for coming on the show. We'll definitely have you back when Scot's here because I'm sure there's tons of questions he would have asked you. But happy almost anniversary and good luck at Seek and Shred. We're cheering you on. It's gonna be an awesome weekend for you.
Thanks for joining us today.
I appreciate it, guys. Y'all take care.
Bye, Racheal.
Bye. See ya.
We did it.
Whew. Where's my refill of iced coffee?
Yeah. I've noticed our side of the stream's a little laggy, so hopefully that hasn't bothered anyone. I don't know if you've noticed.
I haven't caught it.
Okay. Well, good. That was fun.
It was great. Well, thanks for everybody for joining us today. And of course, Jeff and Racheal, it's so fun to talk to pros all the time.
It was fun. It was so different between the two of them.
Well, you know what? It kind of went, I mean, Jeff is Jeff. He's whatever topic he's on of the week is what he's the most passionate about.
I like that about him.
I love that about Jeff. It's great. So
that was fun. Okay. Well, we will be in Arkansas next week.
Yeah.
So whether or not we go live is to be determined. So make sure you push that bell notification, subscribe to this YouTube channel if you haven't already. And you'll be able to, we're constantly updating what's happening in the Onewheel Racing League and in the Onewheel community, Onewheel world on this YouTube channel. So
yeah, and if you're not planning to be at Dirt Surfers, you probably need to rethink that.
Agree.
And be out there at Dirt Surfers with us because it is such a fantastic event. So, be there, get signed up, even if you're coming and just to be with everybody. It's a super fun event. And they have the best Mexican food trucks.
Yeah, it's so good.
My mouth is watering. I can't wait to eat there. Saturday and Sunday, all my meals.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, if you are planning to be at Dirt Surfers, please come say hi. It's been fun to meet everyone in person.
It's my favorite part.
Make sure you cheer Holly on as she races. Kind of a huge deal, Holly.
It's kind of
always first place, beginner division. Come on.
I do know
Let's
a few
shoot for the
others
moon.
that are racing. I just staying on your board is the name of the game. That's what Racheal
just like
said.
Racheal said.
That's what Racheal said. Staying on your board.
You sound like a pro.
And I've only been watching videos of Dirt Surfers. I've never really been out on the actual trails. And it's scary, guys.
You'll be fine.
It's scary.
You'll be totally fine.
Scott keeps telling me I got to go faster. And I feel good going up hills. I cannot go down hills. And it's all downhill. So we'll see what happens.
Lee says, don't forget to give your kids motion sickness medicine before the drive. How kind.
That's nice. That's good thought. I'm hoping they sleep the whole way.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you for tuning in with us. And it was really fun, Holly. Thanks
so
for
fun. Always
doing
fun.
this. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.